Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the SU-8. It's the Tier 6 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the eastbourne of Malinovka, and it's under the command of Oksydor of OLIMP. And it's on his North American account, and that's why he's only got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel instead of 3. He's working his way up to that 3rd mark of excellence. Game on! Well, it's a 152mm howitzer, and it's capable of 550 Alpha, 38mm pen, 6.7 meters on the burst radius, and between 6.5 to 11 seconds of stun. It's based on the hull of a T-28, so it's actually quite effective, quite nippy. Well, not hugely nippy, but enough to actually give it some energy to move about the battlefield. Well, fired his first shot, and oh my gum, look at that, he got a hit. A blind hit, first shot on that target. So I think he saw that somebody had gone to the bush, or he was guessing that somebody was there. And I think it was more to do with the fact that he was probably estimating somebody would go there. Oh, lovely shot. The VK-3002M took a shot on his engine deck, only yielded 55 hit points, but we don't know how much damage he's done to that blind hit yet. Going for the VK again, rounds out. And another direct hit. And I love the fact that that Oksydor is staying with the target to show us what he's doing. And he's even relocating in between. Fires another blind shot in. You notice how he's doing this? He's actually using his W, his S and his A and D key rather, to actually move about and reposition even while he keeps his eyes on what happens to the shell. And that was important with that first shot, because that first shot told him somebody was there behind that bush. Okay, SU-152. Should be able to get a nice little hit. Tier 8 game, Tier 6 tanks, which means that he's actually bottom tier, but that gives him extra XP for every tier higher that he gets, 10% extra. So it actually does work out very much in his favor to be in a much higher tier game. Next target, the VK again, who still hasn't learned. Oh, he did move back! Yes! Oh my God, I thought he was going to miss that one. But he actually correctly worked it out that the guy was going to back up, and he backed up right into the shell and took a hit. So far, he's actually racked up, according to the figures, only 444, but it must be a lot more than that. Now, one of the really good things about this Arty, and ever since they nerfed the M44, this has been the Arty of choice if you want to fire a lot of shells at the enemy and get a lot of damage. Because it so rapidly reloads. The standard reload is 19.65, but you can see here that Oksydor's got it down to 16.29, so very fast on the reload. Looking for that T-29, he finds the Tiger 1 instead, just settling the rescue. It's got very narrow arc of fire as a Soviet Arty, 5 degrees to the left, 12 degrees to the right. So 17 degrees overall, but that means that it does tend to dial in faster than the other Artys. It also has slightly less ammo than the others, only 26 shells in the SU-8, but at least that's more than you find in the M12, because the M12 only has 20 rounds, and the Hummel, well, that's even worse, only 18 rounds. Okay, rounds out T-29. Lovely shot right onto his front. 89 from the actual hit, but 235 from the stun assist. So the stun assist was much more worthwhile here. Now, as you may know, Oksydor does stream on Twitch TV. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go there and have a look if you want. It really is. Oksydor is a perfect way to explain best practice in Arty play, and the fact that he does play almost to perfection, and the fact that he's got 3 marks of excellence on a lot of his Artys shows that he repeatedly does it. That Rudy is taking a lot of hits in his rear from the enemy Arty, but we can certainly keep the Tiger at bay. It's this guy we've got to watch out for, the T-29. Another hit. 78 this time. If he's got the 105mm, he could pop above the ridgeline and finish off that Rudy very quickly indeed. In fact, the Rudy just took a hit from Arty. He's down to 8 hit points, and the Tiger 1 comes around the corner and he's out the game. But Oksydor does get another hit in the meanwhile. Now, our teammate in this game is an M12. On the enemy team, they have a GW Panther and an AMX 13 F3AM. So it looks like both of the Artys on the enemy team appear to be well practiced. Okay, T-29 again. Engine deck, this time 176. Of course, the armor's thinner on the engine deck. But remember, the penetration is only 38mm, so you need to get a weak spot. Well, T-29's out the game. We're 1 down on the enemy at the moment, but I wouldn't let that discourage you at all, because it can go either way even at the moment, even though we're about 1,000 hit points, or nearly 1,500 hit points down on the enemy. Okay, Tiger 1's come into sight again. Notice how it dials in very, very quickly. Even at tier 6, it is very, very good at doing that. Rounds out. Right on the front of the vehicle, 250. In fact, you can see it hit the lower plate, actually. We're switching back, and we can see a Thunderbolt and a KV-2. In fact, there's 2 KV-2s by the church. It looks like the enemy decided not to send all of their forces up the hill. In fact, rather they just let the Tiger 1 and the T-29 go up there, and the others just held back. And oh, our M12 just hit that Thunderbolt. He just got another hit. Okay, lining up the shot. Rounds out, looks good. Another direct hit. Oh, a big one. 240. Makes him a 1-shot. I think the M12 is probably going to try and claim the kill the next shell he fires. We've only got 7 rounds of stun HE left. We might actually run out of shells because he's been blasting away like mad. Oh, that one hit the ridgeline on our side. Didn't go all the way over. So only 6 rounds left. And there's still a lot of enemy tanks out there. So we've been doing all the work. And the rest of our team, well, they really haven't been putting in as much as we would like. Now that shell might hit the roof of the church. I think now he's okay. Rounds out. Yes, he did get it. 131, direct hit on the front of the KV-2. Get that nice sizzle as the round goes off against hard metal. Tiger 1's a 1-shot. Well, in fact, it's a 1 hit point shot. So even a near miss is going to take him out of the game. But the question is, does Oksydor want to shoot at a tank with only 1 hit point? Because if he does, it wastes another shell that could do a lot more damage. At the moment, he's showing 1,787 actual damage and just under 1,000, well, 727 of stun assist. But that's not including one of the shots that he made. Because, of course, that blind shot, we won't see it until the end of the game. Yep, Tiger's out the game. 1 shot from the STA-1, and he's out. There's a KV-2 poking around the corner. Oh, that was pretty fatal. In fact, that looked like it was the Ferdinand who got that shot. Now, it's a long shot from the other side of the battlefield. Really difficult. Rounds out. Oh, so close. 138 hit points, but he tracked the guy. And yes, we're getting some damage assist out of that as well. Still 1 tank down, but now we've only got 4 shells left. Rounds out. And a blind kill. 46 hit points. Well, he came back into sight just as the shell hit him, but it just goes to show as well that Oksydor was certain his shell would go in the right direction, and it did go straight to the aim point. Now he's looking for where the G-Saw was last seen. Things are not looking good for us now because we've only got 6 tanks left on our team, including both Artys. The enemy's got 1 tank more, but I think they've got positional advantage here because, of course, they could just drive south and take our cap area. Our guys have pulled back. The M12 is pulling back to the forest as quickly as he dare. I should say that this is part 1 of a 2-part video. And in fact, both games were consecutive. So they both took part on the same evening, one after the other. I'd say that does happen to a lot of Arty players. You'll actually play a game, and then the very next game afterwards, you get almost the same results as you did in the first one. It's almost like you've dialed in your mojo, and all of a sudden it just happens. Okay, enemy target in sight. Rounds out. Just misses him. Only got a bit of stun, but we got the stun assist. So he's got 2 rounds left now. And at this point, I normally signal to my teammates I've only got a limited number of shells left, to let them know that we're almost run out. That guy's a 1-shot now. Rounds out. Oh, it went long. And now we're on our last round. Still 3 minutes to go on the battle. And it's at this stage that you normally become a spotter for your team, or you try to actually get to the enemy cap if you can to put pressure on the enemy. That KV-2 is still a 1-shot, technically, if we can land the shell on him. Oh, yes, he does! Last shell takes out the KV-2, but now he's got no shells left, and this is where I hit the button, and yep, he's done that, and he said ammunition is empty, but he needs to remain unseen. And unfortunately, the AMX-12 did see him, and he did receive fire, and that's the enemy Arty trying to get him. Narrowly missed. And since this route has actually been cleared, he can now make a dash across the battlefield, go over to the west side of the map, and try and make his way north towards the enemy cap. At least it gets him away from the G-Saw, who's coming in from the north. And okay, they're making a run for it to the other side. Try and get to the cap as quickly as you can. It's only the 2 Arty and that G-Saw, and we know where the G-Saw was last seen. If only can make it with somebody else, because it's now too late to actually get a cap kill or a cap out. They did manage to turn the scores around though. 4 left on his team, 3 on the enemy team. Just, unfortunately, 2 enemy Arty, and they're more than likely going to be up this end of the map. So, we know where the G-Saw is, can see him. We now need to pick a spot in the camp. Normally, I try and pick behind the camp, because the camp will act as a obstruction to anyone who's actually firing at him. Oh! Now, he's decided he knows where the enemy Arty is, so he's going to try and get a ram kill if he can. He's been spotted. He's got no ammunition, but he will act as a distraction. And so long as the enemy doesn't kill the last Ferdinand, which of course last teammate, it's either going to be a draw or a defeat. And he's going in for the ram kill on the GW. Oh, and he sideswipes him. But the question is, where is the AMX-13? And I think he's nearby. There he is. Oh dear. Are we running out of time? Well, both Artys are going to be aiming at him. Oh. Yeah. Well, even if Oksydor had stayed in the cap area instead of actually trying to go after the other enemies, he wouldn't have been able to cap out because, of course, it'd gone past the point at which he could cap out on his own. He needed somebody else to come with him to cap, otherwise he just wasn't going to make it. And the problem was, again, on top of that, if he stayed in the cap, he would have been a stationary target, and one of the Artys would have just moved up, and I think it would have been the AMX-13 F3, close enough to actually spot him, and then both Artys would have been taking shots at him to wipe him out. So he wouldn't have been able to win either way. He had to go after the enemy, and sadly, unfortunately, the G-Saw managed to kill the Ferdinand, and then the enemy Arty managed to get him. The AMX-13 was obviously watching as he went in, tried to sideswipe the GW, which is the correct way you should do it. If you do a head-on collision, you've got to remember that the SU-8 is a medium tank by design, because it's actually got a T-28 hull, and it's fairly weak as well on armor. So if he had tried to ram the Panther, which of course the GW Panther is on a Panther hull, the Panther hull's a lot stronger. So unfortunately, he would have come off the worst. And unless he's got controlled collision, I think, yes, he would have come out very badly out of that one. The AMX-13 F3 AM is a light tank Arty, which means that you could have rammed that one and probably got away with it. Better to sideswipe, but sadly it didn't work out in his favor. But even though he did die in the game and it was a defeat, he did get an ace tanker out of the game at the very least. And on top of that, he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And he got a Gauze medal as well for getting more than damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And his win rate in that game, 5,364, which is Super Unicum standard and a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, it was in fact the second highest damage in the game, because the G-Saw 1008 actually managed to get a high caliber for 3,444 hit points. Second highest damage was Oksydor with 2,518, and of course he picked up the Gauze medal. And in third place was the Ferdinand on our team with 2,279 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, he actually got the third highest because, of course, the G-Saw managed 5 kills. 3 kills went to the AMX-12 ton on the enemy team, who also got a patrol duty, and the AMX-13 F3, and also the Ferdinand on our team. And 2 kills went to the Oksydor, to the IS-2 on our team, and that's all. So let's have a look at base XP. 760 was the highest amount that Oksydor managed to get, and the highest base XP in the game was 1,113. That came from the AMX-12 ton. He must have been doing a lot of spotting. 997 went to the G-Saw 1008. 924 went to the Tiger 1. And fourth place was Oksydor with 760. So good game there in terms of damage. Let's have a look at the number of shots, details. 26 shots fired, all of the ammo. 14 direct hits, no penetrations, but 20 splash. Damage of 2,518, of which 2,491 were at more than 300 meters, with 2 hits received, 2 penetrations, and 2 enemy vehicles spotted. Those were both the Arty. 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 486 hit points of damage assist, and 924 hit points of stun assist of 13 stuns. On a premium count, he actually made a profit of 21,425 credits from that game. And he also picked up 1,774 experience points out of it as well. Just have a quick look at these players, because he did get that blind hit right at the start of the game. And I'm trying to work out which tank it was. And looking at that, it's difficult to say which one it would have been. I get the sneaking suspicion it might have been the Excalibur. 184 hit points there. I don't think he did hit the Excalibur during the game. Can't remember him hitting the Excalibur. but it was only 184 for them. And the BK, I'm showing 3 hits. So it might have been the BK that he hit more than once. 444 hit points. So anyway, a good game for the first one, an ace tanker and a gauze. Let's have a look at the second game. The second replay is on the airfield map, and we're on the west spawn. Game on. Well, despite the fact that he actually got defeated in the last game, he's going for it again. He wants to get that third mark. A lot of players are now using the SU-8 instead of the M44, but it doesn't mean the M44 should be neglected, because it's still quite an effective Arty, and you can get good results because so few people are actually using it. Okay, and we're off, and the first target has been spotted. Thunderbolt making his way to the south, lined up, rounds out, looks good, close. Only 10 hit points, but it's a start. Okay, we've got a BK down there, but he's just below the cliff, so we can't get a shot on him. There's an E25 to the north. Oh, Dickomax. Now, they are good targets, very thin on armor. And an AMD 178B, instead of scouting, he's just sitting there doing nothing. And now he's paid for it. 241 hit points. And that was a near miss. Okay, that rock's kind of in the way to shoot to the north. But we've got a Tiger P in the channel. In the first channel. He's trying to side scrape. That is going to be a big mistake if he gets hit by Arty. Rounds out the Tiger. Yes! Direct hit. Now he is moving about to avoid counter battery, and you can see he's already racked up 457 stun assist already from the shot on the Tiger. Rounds out. Very close. 63 hit points from that one. Okay, the Dickomax has changed sides. And he's gone over this side. Can splash him. Oh, rounds out. Could be direct. Yes! Only 223 though, which means it might have actually hit the hard metal on his tracks and not done a full amount of damage. You should get a penetration shot from a Dickomax because they are very thin on armor. Rounds out. Just went past the Thunderbolt. It's the same Thunderbolt that went on the south route. Okay, 2 together. Can't ignore 2 tanks together because you get double bubble. When he fires the round in to try and stun both, and he does get stuns on both. In fact, he knocked the tracks off the Tiger P completely. In fact, the guy's sitting there. He's going to take another round. And you should never do that. If you've been hit once by Arty, you should keep moving. You shouldn't just stick around because you're going to take another hit. I know that's sort of giving something away to enemy tank players, but of course most tank players just don't take the hint. And that 45 TP's now gone down. So that's the first kill of the game for us. Okay, this is a problem. Could either go for the T29, which we should go for, or we go for the Tiger P's behind.
That was close.
Well, he stunned both of them, slows down the fire rate of the T29, but I think we're going to lose the Oni. Well, he gets a second round on the T29 and scores 144 this time. Now, the problem is, when he fired that shot against the T29, the Oni was so close that he might actually have lost the chance to get his high caliber. Another big hit, 186. We'll have to wait until the end of the game to see if he actually does get a high caliber, if he scores the most damage. Okay. Tiger P's going ahead. The T-29's one shot. Oh! Now that's interesting. He didn't get a pen on... In fact, he should have just overwhelmed the T-29 with the explosive force. And that should have been the end of him. Rounds out. Well, 220 hit points from that one.
Start withdrawal.
Yeah, he's telling the Hummel to get the hell out. And he needs to get out quick. We're 4 down on the enemy. This looks like a worse game than the previous one. The enemy's getting very close to the cap area. Okay, let's see if he can turn this around. Okay, there's the Thunderbolt. He's pulling back into cover. In fact, I think he might try and cut across. The Jicamax is very low on hit points. He's a one-shot. That T-29 looks to be a one-shot as well. So it may be that the enemy's going to have difficulty very shortly. Okay, T-29's coming around the corner. But look at this, a heavy tank number 6. Loads of hit points on this guy. He's marked the target, lined up. Oh, he checked. He can't get the shot in. Not easily. Gives it a go. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and he has to reverse to open the range. Yes, the flat trajectory of the SU-8's howitzer, it worked against him there, but he's far enough away now. He can get a shot. Unfortunately, our Achilles just took a hit from that 88mm gun. Lined up, rounds out, and yes, that's better. Much better. 255 from that one. And the scores, well, they're getting better. We're only 1 down on the enemy. And the heavy tank just took a hit, which might mean that he might be a one-shot. Certainly, if we don't kill him, it's certainly going to badly damage him. And now he's a one-shot, for sure. Definitely. 93 hit points. Our next shell is going to wipe him out. So long as it's a direct hit, if it's a splash, we don't know. We've lost sight of him because our guys don't want to go around the corner and get hit by that 88mm gun. Oh, now he's found him. And he does kill him. So things are now turned in our favor. We're 1 up on the enemy. And we're indicating where we think the Thunderbolt is. But Stirwaffenträger's going up onto Temple Mount, the middle rock in the center of the map, with the amphitheater and the temple on the south end of it. He's going up by the south end. So if the Thunderbolt is there, we might get a chance to spot him. Although the Achilles is fairly close and he hasn't found him. Okay, looking at that area at the south. We haven't got anybody up there to see for us. He's firing blind. Okay. Firing another one in blind. And we spotted a Nashorn. Now, they're basically the same as the Hummel, but with an 88mm gun instead. And very thin armor, so we should be able to take this guy out. Rounds out. Oh, unfortunately, it didn't hit the same spot. And he's still there. In fact, he didn't even get stunned, or at least if he did get stunned, he got rid of the stun very quickly. Now, can we get a direct hit? We can. We'll probably get a kill. Right next door to him. The shell landed right on the side of the tracks. Next shot will kill him for sure. And it does. But it's the M6 who gets the kill instead of us. There's only 4 left on either team. Both Artys. The enemy team has only got a tank destroyer and a medium, whereas we've got the 2 heavies. The M6 and the T-29. The M6 is on 3 kills already. Now we've got 3 rounds of HE and 2 rounds of the extra HE, as I like to say, or non-stun HE. We're looking around to see if we can spot where the enemy Arty might be. The AMX-13 F3 is, well, he might go down to the south. The T-29 is going up into the same area, so he might spot him very shortly. Could be in the corner. There's the Thunderbolt. He's a one-shot. Unfortunately, he also kills our M6. Rounds out. And we got the kill shot. So that's 2 kills now for Oksydor. T-29 didn't find the Arty. And I'm not sure if he's at the back of the map. It might mean he's in the north corner of the map. That's it, up there. Looking for Tracer. Now, one trick with counter battery is to press the V key, which switches off all of the visuals, the information that you actually, or information that you get, infographics I was going to say there, and you can see the Tracer much, much better. If somebody does fire, it stands out. I don't see any Tracers. T-29 having a quick look round the corner. Now, if the Dicamax is where we last saw him, I don't think he is, because I think the heavy tanks came from that direction. There's a possibility that one of them, one of the enemy might have actually moved. The AMX-13 F3 could have actually moved. The M44 could have moved, for that matter. In fact, the AMX-13 has been found. Okay. He really needs to make this one count. Okay, line it up. That's it. Header path. Lined up. Rounds out. And... oh, very close. But it didn't suffer any damage at all from that shot. He's still got 300 hit points. And the T-29 collects the kill. Okay. Saying cap now. Or rather the steer Waffenträger is saying start capping. We know that Dicamax is very badly damaged. He is a one-shot. Certainly for the T-29. I think he's more than likely going to try and stop the T-29 from capping and get a reset. Now would be the time to move up. Looking for that Tracer again. Another trick that you can use if you're not an Arty player is actually to look for all the places that the T-29 might be able to see, because, of course, he's the one who's going to be spotting on your behalf. So you check all the avenues that that he's likely to spot as the enemy tanks try to reset him. We just saw a shell come in, and we didn't see it in the quadrant where we're looking at the moment. So it might be that the enemy Arty is not in the north, but actually slightly over to the west. Yes, we can see the Tracer now coming in. So the enemy Arty is actually on our side of the battlefield. In fact, I think, yes, they're indicating they think he's in B4. I think that's right. Well, we've almost capped out, so it looks like it's going to be a cap win. And he's failed to get another hit. And that's it. I think the game is ours unless the Dicamax intervenes. And that's it. It's won. Disappointing Dickomax didn't try. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was another ace tanker for Oksydor in the SU-8. He also got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 13. And he got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from that one, 4,291. So, yeah, Super Unicum standard, and he's done it twice in a row. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he did get the highest damage on his team, but not the highest damage in the game. That T-29 on the enemy team picked up a high caliber for 2,661. And in second place was Oksydor with 2,348, just as in the previous game. And in third place was the Stirwaffenträger, who managed 2,287. When it came to kills, the high scorers were the M6 and the Thunderbolt on the enemy team. Both got 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the SU-8 on our team, that's Oksydor, as also the Stirwaffenträger and the T-29. And on the enemy team, and our T-29 got an Invader medal as well for getting the cap out. And on the enemy team, the E-25 and the Tiger P both managed 2 kills. When it came to base XP, it's, the top. 1,095 went to Oksydor, 826 to the M6, and 803 went to the Stirwaffenträger. So at least we got the highest damage on our team, second highest damage overall, second highest number of kills, and top on base XP. He fired 24 rounds in the game, so just 2 rounds left at the end, 9 direct hits on the enemy, 22 splashes, 2,348 hit points of damage, all of it done at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 2, did 420 hit points of damage assistance, and 982 hit points of stun assist of 21 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 22,768 credits from the game, and he also picked up 8,214 experience points after he got a mission completion for 6,572. If we just check the what garage to see, we can see exactly what the situation is for Gunmark. So we look at number 6. There we go. And we're looking for this, the AMX-13F3. And looking at the requirements, going back to these scores again, well, 2,348 damage, which is more than enough for the ace tanker, or rather the base XP actually is 1,095, sorry. And that's definitely an ace tanker, yes. And when it comes to the third marking, 2,348 hit points of damage. Yes, he's well on the way to getting 100% at this rate. Keeps it up with that sort of level of damage, I think he's going to get it easily. So, yes. Not long to go before he's third marked. So I hope you enjoyed those games. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.